AITA for getting a lock for my office door despite my husband's disapproval? Me F32 and my husband M36 have been married for 10 years. And we have 2 kids. My husband is currently unemployed, but I recently started working from home in my office for 5 hours. Thing is, my husband would constantly barge into my office and interrupt my work over simple requests he could get done himself. My work is usually with group, and we constantly have group meetings to discuss projects. Requests such as, "Can you fix this issue in my phone? Can you get the kids ready while I take a shower? Can you watch the oven while I make this phone call?" Complaining about dishwasher, faucet, mixer, computer not working and asking me to stop working to get them fixed. He'd send the kids in all the time for me to brush their hair or fix a zipper. I've talked to him about how this has been impacting my work. I already handle the chores when I'm not working, so I think 5 hours of work should be respected. He'd apologize and say he didn't know, then do it again and say it was spontaneously. 2 days ago, I had an important meeting and he barged in, interrupted my meeting asking me to fix his tie because he was going out later. It was horrible in front of my colleagues and superiors. I bought a lock later and installed it. When my husband got home in the evening and saw it, he looked absolutely shocked. He asked what was the lock for, and I replied that because of him interrupting my work sessions, this was my only way. He sent the kids to their room, then argued saying, "I can't believe you want to act like the kids and I are not even here and lock us out like that." I argued I didn't appreciate how disrespected my boundaries and thought the lock is the solution after I've exhausted all options. He pitched a fit, saying the lock is not a good solution, and expressed how hurt he was feeling. He asked, "Imagine how the kids are going to feel when they see it." Then went outside to smoke. He kept saying I should remove it. AITA. NTA. Pretty sure if you placed a "Do Not Disturb" sign on the door, he would ignore it and still barge in. You did good by getting a lock. And if you're worried about the kiddos, explain to them that mommy needs to work so she can put food on the table. And when mommy is working, no one can go into the office. And I'm pretty sure the kiddos will take to that boundary better than your husband does. Maybe you could ask your husband to read your post and comments so he gets the picture? NTA. You are working from home. It's not mommy time. It's not fix the sink time. It's working time. He needs to get his head around it and respect that. That being said, some people have a hard time with the WFH concept. Simply can't get their heads around it that it's work time, even if you're sitting in your own home. He sounds like one of them. Have you tried putting it this way? Husband, would you drive 1 hour to my workplace and ask me to fix your tie? Would you send the kids by bus to my office to have me comb there? This is my office. These are my working hours. And it doesn't matter if I have to drive to an office building or walk across the hall in our house. I'm working. NTA. If he respected your boundaries and working time, then lock wouldn't be required. NTA. My husband and I both work from home, and I got a lock for the same reason. He barged in singing while I was on a video call once. That was my last straw. You just want to pretend like the kids and I aren't here. There's an obvious response to this that might help get it through to him. Yes. I want to pretend like I'm away from home in an office while I work. And I'd like for you all to pretend the same. What you are asking is no different than it would be if you worked 5 hours a day in an office. And he desperately needs to respect that. NTA. NTA. I can't believe you want to act like the kids and I are not even here. Single quote. That's what WFH is all about. His excuses that you listed are complete BS. And if he can't watch his own kids for 5 hours, he needs to get a job and pay for childcare. NTA. What did he expect? NTA. I would respond with, what I want is to be treated like I am working when I am working. Let's be real for a minute. There is some low-key misogyny driving his expectations. Even though you are working, he still expects you to fix his tie, take care of the kids, watch the oven, for a phone call, fix a zipper, or fix the kids' hair so he could do other tasks that he deems more important, like shower. His sense of entitlement is apparent from when he came barging into a meeting to fix a tie for later, because him going out later is more important than your meeting right now. I would be seriously questioning if he trying to threaten your employment. It definitely feels like he wants to be the man of the household and you working while he is unemployed looking after the kids is threatening him. NTA. You made an entirely reasonable request and he's ignored it repeatedly. If he can think of another solution that isn't just, I get to keep interrupting you whenever I want, because I'm a huge baby who can't manage my time or my kids independently, then feel free to take that option. But otherwise keep that lock. NTA. You made a completely reasonable request that your husband ignored time and time again. Considering his lack of consideration for you and what you need for your work, he really has no leg to stand on to complain about your actions. Just from reading this, your husband sounds extremely self-centered and concerned only with his well-being. Really, what you have asked him to do is the most basic of manners and he has completely failed. And then he has the nerve to talk about how hurt he is. Perhaps I shouldn't be surprised considering that he is so inept that he has to be constantly interrupting you for such basic and simple tasks. NTA at all. If you were working at an office elsewhere, he would have to handle everything on his own as well. It shouldn't be any different just because you are down the hall. With the exception or real emergencies, stick to your guns. But be prepared for loud banging on the door or other childish tricks. Good luck. Does this guy do literally anything? Doesn't sound like he does any chores or help with the kids. That fucking tie better have been to go to an interview. You may need to ask yourself what he brings to the table. NTA. Let him know that people that don't have impulse control, critical thinking skills, or a job don't get to interrupt the only source of income. The fact that you need a lock is ridiculous. He sounds like a toddler. My husband works from home and I don't disturb him, because he's working. NTA. Your husband sucks for not recognizing your boundaries and using your kids as an emotional weapon. NTA. Sounds like you have 2 kids and a baby. NTA. Working from home with kids is hard. And let's face it, in this respect, your husband counts in that category. You are NTA. It honestly sounds like you're raising 3 kids. Hubby seems to lack some kind of executive functioning or impulse control. All joking aside, has he been assessed by a physician to see if there's something diagnosable that could be treated with medication? NTA. Doesn't he realize you're working? How dense can you be? Tell him the lock stays on till he can respect your work hours. NTA. I asked my so if he felt comfortable walking into my office at work with these requests. He stopped. NTA. This is an incredibly simple boundary issue. He's not mad about the lock. He's mad that he can no longer disrespect your boundary.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.